Hello everybody, my name is Rosie Swenson. We're here at Melting Heart Boutique in Phoenix, Arizona. And today we have Vicki Gaia. Roberta Beach could not be here, but they're partners in art. So they are with the Three Alchemists.
The Three Creative Alchemists.
The Three Creative Alchemists.
Yeah, right.
That makes more sense to me. And welcome, Vicki. Thank you so much for allowing us the time to chat a little bit.
Well, thank you.
And get to know you and get to know a little bit about your art.
Okay.
So tell me, how did this come about?
Well, Roberta and I have a long history. Both of us are artists, and we've been practicing probably almost 30 years now, which is kind of scary. And so we used to have a gallery in Chandler called Alchemy Arts.
Oh.
Then Roberta moved to California, and we stayed in touch, but we work really well together. She's kind of like a soulmate type of friend, you know, those
awesome.
ones that when you first meet, you're just like, you just connect.
Yes.
And so we always wanted to, so we stayed in touch, and we, stayed great friends, and we always wanted to do something together. Well, technology finally caught up, right?
Right.
And so we thought, well, we love teaching. We used to do it in our gallery, teach classes, and we love the idea of teaching creativity and having people go, wow, I do have a creative spark in me. I can do this. So we developed Three Creative Alchemists, and we teach online workshops, creative workshops, but we miss teaching one-on-one.
I see.
That's why we were thrilled when you said, do you want to do a workshop here? We're like, yeah, because we do miss that quite a bit.
So we're actually scheduled to have a class here.
Right.
And remind me about the date, because I'm not very good with keeping dates in my head.
It's the
November 8th and November 9th
weekend.
That's right.
It's
and it's the whole day.
2 full days.
Full days.
Because we do teach this class online. It's a creative process that gets you in touch with your creative side and sparks and revitalizes that side of you, because we want everybody to be able to live a creative life. That's kind of our thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, what will you be doing in this class?
Well, we're going to be doing a lot. It's going to be packed with stuff. First of all, our creative process we developed is it's a 6-step process, and we're going to go through each step. But we want people to realize that it's not linear. We teach it step by step.
Right.
But when you're in the creative way of thinking, it goes back and forth.
I see.
Each thing. So
everybody catches on whenever they're ready,
yeah,
sort of?
Well, sort of, but you'll realize that you might be in this, like let's say you're dealing, the first module is actually dealing with your fears and your blockage.
Oh, nice.
That's never going to go away, as you know. When you take risks, you open your store as a big risk, and we have fears that are associated, and we just don't want those fears to stop us.
Right.
You want to move forward, but that's never going to be like you're going to go through that step and never have that again.
Right, it's an ever-growing process, an ever-developing process.
Right, and then we have.
So good news, you're always going to experience blockage.
Right, I know, but it's being able to move through it and doing it anyway. Some fears you need some fears because they prevent you from having something bad happen.
Right.
So some fears are good to have, but
rational
not
fears.
the ones that are internal fears that have no power behind them.
Like, give me an example of what those fears might look like in respect to creativity.
Well, okay, I have a list. I have a huge list.
She comes prepared. That's what I love about Vicki.
This is our journal, and I'm not talented.
Okay.
That's
some
one of
of
my
the
fears.
stuff that we tell ourselves. Right?
I lack courage. That was another one. I am a fake. No one understands me. No one will like me because I also write books. And when you're a critic, someone says a bad review, suddenly, oh my gosh, you take it personally.
Right.
We can't help it. We're human.
Right.
So, these are my fears, but then I realize I still do it anyway.
You move through that.
I move
and
through
you go
it.
to the next page.
Right. To the fun. Because we want people to have fun. This isn't something that's going to be painful. We want to have a really fun time.
And that's why I call workshops play shops.
I love that.
Because it is really truly a play shop. Because we work a little too much already.
Yeah,
So,
no,
right?
and we believe that it's fun. If you're
Mhm.
not having fun, what's the point?
Right, right.
You know, you want to enjoy it. And we teach creativity by having people create.
Mhm.
They're already in the creative process when they do our class.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we do it with the journal format. We also do inspiration tags that everybody's going to be doing. And these are tags that keep you in attention and keep you reminded of what is important to you and what
Okay.
your intention is.
So even though this is a class, everybody has their own individual thoughts that
Oh,
go
it's amazing.
into
Yes.
the journal, into the tags.
This is my style. If you saw Roberta's journal, it's going to be completely different. Because we deal with symbols, we deal with mind mapping, with taking action, you know, the whole gamut to celebration.
That is really awesome. I love the journals. I love the tags, and we're just very excited for the class again on the 8th and the 9th, all
Yes.
day from, I believe, 9 o'clock
Yes,
in
9
the
to
morning
5.
to 5. So it's
And
a
I know it's
full
a
day.
commitment for people.
It is a big
It's
commitment.
a very big commitment. It's both days, but you know, you have to take care of yourself.
Absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
and it just, when you're in that creative kind of spark and you're in that kind, you look at things creatively,
Mhm.
that's the creative life, you're just going to spread that out and it's going to affect people around you
Right.
in a positive way.
Right, right.
So.
That is very, very informative, and it sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I was thinking of a question and it kind of escaped me, so I'll come back to
Okay.
that again. Tell me how you started on this journey.
Myself?
Yes.
Well, I've always been one of those childs that, there's a picture of, you know, like you're on those bars, those in the playground, I don't know.
Okay, yes, the monkey
And
bars.
yeah, kind of, and they're all, there's all these kids and they're sitting upright and there's one that's upside down,
Okay, yes.
hanging upside down.
Right, that was yours.
I'm not the upside down kid, you know?
And she's not going to demonstrate that right now.
No, I couldn't even do that right now. I'd probably fall on my head. So I always kind of, I always was, you know, the one that just was kind of out of step. You know, I just saw things a little differently all my life. I never really thought of myself ever as an artist or a writer. I also have a very practical side. In fact, my other career has always been in administrative accounting work. So I have more of a balanced left brain, right brain approach. But then, like my husband said, Vic, you know, just, because I'll sometimes say, gosh, I just don't understand this, you know, how people could think this way or whatever. And he's like, Vic, he goes, realize you're only 8% of the population thinks like you do. I just, you know, there's just something about that.
And you tend to forget that, right?
You tend to, because, you know, you get into the world and, you know.
You're reminded every day of that,
Yes,
of something other than
And
what you
when
might
you're
become.
younger, I didn't have the confidence that I do, that I, you know, developed over the years. And I went back to art school in my 30s.
Wow.
And received a degree from San Diego State. And worked for an artist. I actually helped run her art studio. She was very successful and did that. And then I just blossomed from there and started just taking more and more risks, realizing, you know, I can do this. You know, we're all creative. We all have our talents. And it's not just art. You know, my husband is extremely creative. He's a materials engineer, you know, but he thinks totally differently. You know, he
Right.
has his spreadsheets, you know.
Right. One thing that I've come to conclude over time is that, especially females, if we do not listen to our heart and we do not start a creative process, we tend to get ill.
Yes.
Have you ever thought about that connection?
Yes, that's absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about that, because I just kind of was formulating that concept, but I really don't have a grasp on it. What can you tell us about that?
You know, it's very hard to pinpoint that. But I do know if I am not either writing or doing something that I feel is expressing myself, I'm not a depressive person, so I don't get really depressed, but I just get really lethargic. You know, and I just think we have so much, sometimes weighing us down, or people, you know, we're so like, oh, you know, how are they going to view me? What do people think? They're not going to understand it, and all this noise.
So you mean even though you're teaching this class.
Oh,
you
I have
experienced that too.
In fact, I almost stopped writing about a year and a half ago.
Oh my goodness.
I finally was at the point like I just felt dry. And I thought, okay, you know, this is not good. It wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
So then so I said, okay, I just got to jumpstart that by doing something completely different. And so I took an interesting art class online, and I just got totally away from writing for a while. And that just started me going to where I got back. Then later I got back into writing again. But it's like always constantly saying, you know, this is not a step-by-step, like you end here.
Mm-hmm.
This is
right.
kind of, I think of your journey, you know, it's almost like a spiral.
Right.
You know, you're going to go up, you're going to be elated, and then you're going to go up, but you're higher. It doesn't
each
take
time.
as long. You know, you could go through your...
The ceiling gets higher and higher each time, right? That's why we call it growth.
Right. And then if I have like a bad review or somebody says something negative, I might like have an hour of just like wanting to eat chocolate and just like, why am I doing this?
And chocolate cures everything, right?
Yeah. So, but it doesn't last as long.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, and then if you keep an intention, why we call it rituals of creativities, because we really believe in the ritual of setting your intention and whatever you need to do to set your intention and do a small little ritual before you get started on a project, or even maybe do it daily, sets you on the right direction.
Like setting your intention and just moving through it.
Yeah.
Right?
And we all have rituals. Mine is as simple as cleaning my desk up or cleaning my studio up before each new project.
Mm-hmm.
I have to have everything in place. Roberta's completely different. She's like all over the place. It's really
She sounds
funny.
a lot like me. I have about 100 projects that
But you probably know where everything
Right.
is.
Sometimes
right?
I do, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I spend 2 days looking for one little thing, and you know, and my project ends up staying there for another year.
Yeah.
But I think that this is a very important work, and I'm very excited to host the class. And I want to ask you too, what kinds of things have you seen in your students that have made a real big impact in their lives? What has come back to you as far as feedback?
Recently, we taught this class, and we had a couple of people in there that have never picked up, have never done anything they considered artistically. And they just said they couldn't believe it, they just blossomed. I mean, they wrote it, you know, we've had such good feedback of people just saying, oh wow, you know, I didn't realize I could do this. You know, this is something that really resonates, you know, and we had other students that have gone on and they've discovered what they want to do and have written us and said, oh, I'm so excited, I'm going to be taking this, you know, class, and that's what's worth it to us.
Right.
And, you know, we learn as teachers. I mean, every class that I teach, I learn something. And it's actually a exchange. And that's what we want our classes to be, where people share and people get ideas. I mean, nothing is, to me, is original in the sense as you take something and make it your own.
Right.
You know?
That's very true.
And so, like I said, all these journals are going to be different. You know, all people's symbols are different, the way they view things, and we really love, that's the part we love, is sharing all this and having people get really excited about realizing that, hey, I can do this. There are others that are artists already that we had in our class, and they've been kind of in a slump, and this revitalized their creativity.
So basically just removing the blocks that hold us back from expressing ourselves.
Yeah, and I think
in an individual way.
Right, and also doing it. Just do it.
Just
that
doing
Nike, you know, I mean, God, they had it right on.
I almost said that.
Yeah, really, just do it. And that's what they're realizing, that's what they're doing in the class. And that's our symbols. That's my symbols that I like.
Beautiful journal. Beautiful.
And so we're going to have a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
I expect to have a lot of fun, and I'm going to be participating in your class as well.
Good.
So I can unblock some of those things that hold me back. A lot of the times where we want to, and we're so busy, or we create that busyness so we don't have to do the art. I really find that that is true for me, that when I want to finish a project, I will put all kinds of things in the way. I'll just put everything in the way.
Especially too, you know, I work at home. That's really interesting.
Right.
Is to really say, okay, I'm not going to do the laundry right now,
Right.
or whatever comes, my way, especially something I don't want to do, right away. And so I'm really queen of procrastination. But, I try to work through it. But I saw those paintbrushes in your.
Yes, yes, we are always doing something here, and one of the things that we do here is we invite anyone who has a creative block to join us as a group. And the store is open. Anytime anyone wants to come here and bring their own project, they can just come here, because I get inspired when I see that. So we've got a couple of people that come here and they take advantage of the space, and they come and create and surround themselves by other creative people, and so we all get inspired by that. So
that is wonderful, and I can feel the energy in here.
Well,
It's
thank
nice
you.
energy in here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming in this morning and for accepting our invitation. I am so thrilled to have had you here, and looking forward to November 8th and 9th. And if you want to sign up, you can call 623-204-8871.
Or you could go on our website.
Absolutely.
And sign up, and that's the Creative Alchemists at blogspot.com.
Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Stay tuned and connected.